And welcome back to the Kingsway Podcast.
Welcome.
Well, another year has flown by, Ryan.
This is the last time that you'll hear our voices. This year with a new episode, because next year we'll have another new episode.
Next year's a new world, new world.
It's I'm pretty sure next year's the year we're planning to move this podcast to Mars. Do the what was it, Oprah and Gail whatever went to space for 11 minutes? Like,
yeah,
we'll do.
I don't have a heights issue. I'm sure I'm fine. It'll be fine.
At that point, it's not heights.
Yeah, dude.
Because heights assumes up and down.
Good luck telling my brain that. Good luck telling my brain that. Yeah. Well, we're gonna do something fun. If you haven't noticed, if you hadn't had it happen already, if you listen on any kind of device with like YouTube Music or Spotify or any kind of what I would say podcast app that is worth its luck, they do this thing called a rewind, or
Spotify does Wrapped.
Yeah. And it's basically like lets you know what your top songs were, lets you know what you listened to the most, how many minutes you listened. Year recap. It is. And I told Ryan, I said, it's kind of fun. And I think it'd be cool if we did our own kind of version of that.
Yeah. Because it can kind of help recap the year. It can also let you know if your phone was used at kids camp, because that will mess up your algorithm.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, my Spotify Wrapped was a dumpster. No, it wasn't. It was a beautiful moist cake with one icing layer of dumpster fire on top of it because of camp. It made my top artist, not saying this is terrible, but it made my top artist Hillsong Young and Free. Yep. So I was playing the pump up music by the pool.
Yep.
It made Sharon's top artist random composers who did sea shanties, because it was a pirate themed camp. And so it was really funny. My top 5 songs, numbers 5 through 2, were a 4-song EP. Every single one of those songs was in my top 5. And then my top 1 was the first song on that playlist.
Yep.
So mad.
Don't worry, mine was the same way. My children run my world, so I had like half I'd say the 3 out of my top 5 songs were all songs that my kids just asked for constantly.
Yeah. I think our youth pastor John maybe was telling me that his Wrapped was like the fart song or something because of kids asking Alexa to
play the fart song.
Yep, something like that, something crazy. Yeah. So this is one of those.
What I'm excited about is you'll get to hear a little bit of our personal answers from our reflection on our years, but also you'll get to hear some of the things that maybe you missed in our podcast this year that we enjoyed, that maybe you go back and find or go back and listen to. And so the way we're going to do this is Ryan's got some questions and some things thrown out for
some topics,
our topics for our podcast, and then I have some things that are just more personal, and so we'll kind of maybe ping pong back and forth, or go 1 or 2 questions one direction and then go back the other. But I guess I'm going to start out with Ryan. What's your first question, or the biggest? I think this like the most fun question for a recap of our podcast for this last year.
So we're going to start. If this was somebody's birthday, we'd be messing it up by giving them the best gift first, and then going to the lesser.
Debatable.
The biggest, most expensive gift first.
Yes. Okay.
And then after that, it's like an orange. You love oranges, right?
Yeah, but desserts.
I'm just kidding. Man, it's going to be a good episode. So our biggest episode of the whole year, drum roll please, was like our 3rd or 4th episode of the year, episode 202, Wes Huff and Intellectually Debating Christianity.
I remember we stepped into that episode thinking, we got to just talk about it. I mean, the internet was talking about it.
We
was
have a
everywhere.
handful of like hot button issue flares up and it's going to die out at some point. Like, although Wes Huff was kind of big most of the year because then he showed up on Joe Rogan and some other places. I don't remember if he had shown up there when we did that episode, but I think he had.
That's part of the reason why we ended up doing it.
So we jumped on the bandwagon not to add 1 more decibel of noise to the like constantly shouting, constantly loud internet atmosphere. But to say, hey, for you Kingsway Christian Church people out there, like, what should you think about this? What are the sources that you've heard stuff from? What are other sources maybe you haven't heard stuff from? Is this a good thing to engage in? Is this a bad thing to engage in? Is it okay? Can you be a totally like faithful Christian and also be a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience.
And it was a healthy episode and discussion. I encourage. I'm not surprised that was the biggest one we had. It was probably that one in the sense of like it was just how the internet was on fire. I think it was
hit
getting
at the
pushed.
right time.
It really did.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Go check that out if you haven't. It's a good one. It's a really good one.
It is a good one. That was our biggest episode of the year. But overall, in statistics for our podcast,
we had some others ahead.
This year, our total audience went up by 77%.
That's
It went from both of our moms to both of our moms and Will Solak. No, I'm just kidding.
And Eli.
And his girlfriend, Hallie. If you're listening, love you, Hallie, and I totally know your name. Our total new audience went up. This is crazy. So our audience went up by 77%. Our new audience went up by 625%.
Jeez.
And our followers went up by 40%. So we aren't a stagnant, tiny podcast. We are a tiny and barely growing podcast.
Yes, we're consistency.
We've grown.
Kills.
If you've seen Stranger Things, end of season 1, beginning of season 2, when Will is rescued from the Upside Down, he spits out that little slug thing. Yep. We've gone from a little slug to a little slug with some back legs. Heyo.
We're no longer a tadpole.
No, I think we're still a tadpole. We're not a frog yet, though. Well, no,
I think there's something in between.
We're a tad frog.
Tad frog.
Something in between. That's the best way to talk about it. But on top of our episodes that did the best, we're the ones who record them. So I wanna give a moment for us to share our favorite episodes that we recorded this year.
Yeah.
What was yours? If you can think of it.
There's honorable mentions, and then there's the one that I love. Honorable mentions are the Mindbender episode with you.
Yep.
I absolutely had a blast.
I liked it a lot.
It was fun getting to watch your brain go into hyperdrive. And if you don't know what the episode is, just look for Mindbenders. It's just internet questions and like literal studies,
brain teasers, and like
but
logical games,
neuroscience behind it to kind of see how flexible and the plasticity of a brain. And Ryan's brain is pretty wonderful.
Made of plastic.
It's pretty crazy how cool some
you
of
have no idea how many scientists DM'd me. Like, dude, your brain.
Sheldon
Cooper
got a hold of you. No, it really was a fun episode. Yeah. Another honorable mention episode was with Matthew talking through.
Yeah, Matthew McBirth.
Talking through Peter's stuff and his new book. Really enjoyed that episode. We actually had a short that you put out that went a little viral.
That was the most watched, streamed, whatever thing that we did.
Yep.
But it wasn't a full episode. It was just the
short.
The short. But we should probably do more of those.
We should. That's
we're just here for the views.
But
I'm just kidding. We're not. We do this for the love of the game.
That's all we would do.
Yep.
But it was a really fun episode. I really like hanging out with Matthew, and it was good. But my absolute favorite was actually the first podcast we did of the year, and it was with Shane Wood. And it has a personal side to me. He happened to know a little bit of what's going on with Kendrick Lamar and Drake and the halftime show, and it was such a fun episode.
I think we had 2 episodes.
It was 2 parts.
It was too long.
It was 2 parts.
Yeah.
And it's part 2 that I'm talking about that really was, but the whole episode was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the standout
was so
for
good.
me. What about for you?
Okay. I had some honorable mentions. I'm going to mention those first. All my favorite episodes that we do are the like super brainy, deep in the weeds. Like I'm going to present an essay off the dome on some topic or whatever. So we had a 3-parter pretty recently about Christian denominations.
Yeah.
Every single one of those I love to death. Researching them and then presenting on them and whatever. Love them. Even if like we didn't say everything that could possibly be said, just swimming in pools like that. Super fun for me. And then also, pretty much same category, is kind of hot button, kind of cultural, but also kind of biblical, kind of nerdy and whatever, was our episode. I didn't put the number over here, but what should Christians think about Israel?
Yeah.
It's, if you haven't seen or listened to that episode, don't worry. It's not a like hyper political episode. It's Christians, not the evangelical voting bloc, but like people who follow Jesus and read the Bible and think the Bible has some authority over their lives.
Absolutely.
What should that group of people, based on those authorities, think about the modern state of Israel? So, those were some of my favorites. But to break from that, sort of.
Yeah.
It was the coffee episode.
Yeah, I knew it was
220. We'll get into personal stuff and I'll talk more about it. But I've been growing as a coffee person for a long time. This year, I've bought a new roaster and started a small, like hobby level roastery, and have been like roasting for my friends and some people at church and whatever. So, so this was a big year for coffee for the Dufo household. That was my favorite episode.
I drank a lot of coffee that day.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was great. That was, if you haven't seen that episode again, that's one you should watch. Even if it's like you're watching it while doing laundry and like glancing back and forth. You don't need to watch every second, but you need to watch at least some of it to see that like I take the same coffee and it's a really good and pretty fresh coffee.
Yeah.
And I make espresso shots. I make a Chemex, I'm pretty sure, or a V60, some sort of pour over. I make a French press. I think I make an AeroPress.
Yep.
And I make a K-Cups.
And you did bring a K-Cup. I was going to say the K-Cup was the worst, but
Yep.
it was a really fun experience.
Now that, to be fair, that K-Cup was through one of those reusable metal mesh K-Cup things. I have made K-Cups in the past, and don't ask me for them. I don't want to make them. Go to Isaac Leach's store, Britain's store near Halltown. I don't know what actual town it's in.
I don't either.
I think the town has less miles than it has letters in its name.
There you go.
Less square miles. But it's near Halltown. I sell K-Cups there. Just go get one of those. Those have like the normal K-Cup paper filter inside the plastic, and that does more. It makes it better.
I bet it does.
Still maybe not the best thing you've ever had, but it's a lot better than the other one.
Well, that's awesome.
Okay. And then the last big thing I want to say, just kidding. Last big thing I want to say about the podcast.
Yeah.
Is that we did something big this year with the podcast.
Yeah, we did.
If you haven't been a long-time listener, don't listen to every episode. What you need to know is that this year we started the Kingsway Podcast Book Club. Honestly, one of my favorite segments. That has forced me to read, and which is great for me.
Yeah.
I think, was it you or somebody else called me, I'm not a bookworm, I'm a book dragon, like Smaug in The Hobbit.
Yep.
I just collect books, hoard books, circle around them with my scaly exterior.
Never read them.
Breathe fire on anyone who approaches them, but don't really do anything with it. Just kind of have them.
Yep.
This year has descaled me and taken off some limbs and made me more into a worm. That sounds terrible. Anyway, I've read some books this year. I think last year I read 3 books, and this year I read 18 books.
Jeez.
So the like one a month for the book club, but then I would I'm going to be honest, a lot of it was audiobook listening. Same for you.
Oh, I didn't read a single book.
You have an excuse, which is that you're blind. But no, I'm kidding. Which is that you have dyslexia. I have no excuse. I'm just like, I love books. I collect them. Then Sharon's like, you should sit down and read one. I'm like, I don't want to.
Yep. Nope.
But I work at Ozark Christian College and teach music lessons there. So I have almost an hour drive from Miller, Missouri to the college. And that each way
is awesome.
Once a week.
It's awesome.
So that is the perfect book listening time. I listened to some and read some great books this year.
Yeah, me too. I really enjoyed. What's your favorite book from book club?
I'm going to give you my favorite book club book and then my favorite not book club book.
Okay.
My favorite book club book is really 3 books. It's the Space Trilogy that we read over the summer.
Golly, I can't believe that's what you picked.
I'm saying we read.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
You read most of the first one.
I read most of the first one, but I couldn't get through it. And that's the second time I've tried to read it. Dude.
I think you should just try harder. I know you're blind, but like just push through it.
The struggle I'm having, and we can get to it, is I am in a fictional series that we can get to it.
It's it's written. You can watch the episode on it, but in short, it's about stuff in space and other planets and aliens and whatever, written by a Christian philosopher before anyone ever traveled to space. So the things he says and assumes about space are like wild and crazy. But here's the other thing about it. It's before anybody ever went to space. So it's freaking old.
Yeah.
It's so old. So trying to read it, it's not some like Harry Potter easy read. Yep. It carries you along, good momentum. There are some long stretches of some really boring stuff. But if you make it through...
The struggle I think I had with that, and not to poo-poo on it in any way, I just don't love that style of fiction. And it's not, has nothing to do with that trilogy. It has everything to do with that style. Because even other books that were written very similarly, Ender's Game, some of the other, like, just doesn't have, it just
But
never
at least
held
Ender's
me.
Game, it's slower, but it has more modern use of language.
Yes.
This is both slow and an old use of language, much like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, Tolkien stuff, because Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were friends. It's just got a lot of that.
So that was your favorite from the book club. What was your favorite outside of the book club?
I'm torn between two. I'm going to mention one as a runner-up, and then the other's my favorite.
Honorable mention.
So honorable mention was Fabricating Jesus by Craig Evans.
Okay.
Honestly, the Wes Huff critical historical background kind of stuff to the New Testament got me onto this book, Fabricating Jesus by Craig Evans. Craig Evans is a very highly attested, rated's not right, but esteemed scholar.
Yeah, esteemed, there you go.
In a lot of those kind of fields, New Testament background and stuff like that. He's been a part of the quest for the historical Jesus, which I think has done a lot of silly things, and he talks about in his book. But it's just a book that goes through a lot of the extra biblical evidence, finger quotes evidence about the New Testament, Christianity, Jesus, and goes through one by one to like dismantle or poke holes or compare it to the New Testament Gospels and stuff like that. So he talks about the Gospel of Barnabas, the Gospel of Thomas, a bunch of different the secret ending of Mark, where Jesus has an encounter with a gay magician. It's incredible. So he goes through a lot of these things that skeptics and other people will point out, and then talk about how, okay, they're hypercritical when it comes to the biblical gospels on dating. And so then they'll push it back. Oh, because of these random things found within the text, has to be from like 150. And then they'll date the Gospel of Thomas at like 70 because of a separate standard that they're putting on it, whatever. Anyway, super nerdy, super in the weeds. And at the same time, not nearly as boring of a read as Strange Religion by Nijay Gupta, which we did read in the book club.
Yeah.
It was so fascinating the whole time.
Interesting.
Okay, but my actual pick.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hold it up because I'm probably going to make us read this next year, is What's a Christian Anyway? By Glenn Packiam. Here's the story behind this book. It is a non-denominational, evangelical, charismatic megachurch pastor.
Okay.
Writing a book telling people that in their churches, just like his, you should recite the Nicene Creed.
Yeah, you were telling me about this.
Yeah. I may have mentioned this on some podcast episodes. But his whole big point is he was at a huge, big, vivacious church. They were planted by a charismatic, as in like leadership, charismatic kind of leader, a cult of personality almost. And then that leader had some big moral failures and was kicked out of leadership. And everybody's kind of like, what do we do now? And that's the issue with churches like ours is when the leader leaves, what do people rest their faith on? And that's his whole point is that we need some ancient source of truth for Christianity, not a charismatic person giving truth for Christianity, but an ancient source so that you know that any charismatic leader you have, any gifted individual who leads, who preaches, who leads worship is one new member in the 2,000-year chain of faithful, maybe a hair short of 2,000 years, but of faithful Christians preserving this ancient faith in this gospel. So I love this book because it's really grounded and historical, but also it's for churches and Christians kind of like us.
Yeah.
I also love it because as he talks through the Nicene Creed is a ancient agreement on what Christianity is. Here are a bunch of stuff that you have to believe to be a Christian. And a lot of Christians agreed on it, and the ones who didn't were called heretics, and I think they were rightly called heretics because they disagree about the person of Jesus.
Yeah.
He wasn't fully God, but he was fully man. Or he wasn't fully God, whatever, the other way around. Anyway, Arianism and other stuff, and anyway. So along with like the Nicene Creed, this is like one of the best trips on full Christian theology I've ever read. It covers such a wide range of things, and it's a really good grounding resource. It is being added to, if you're watching, you can see this. I won't name all of them. My short list of the books I wish every Christian would read, especially the ones in our church.
Yeah, that's cool.
Along with one of the books we did read this year, Your Future Self Will Thank You.
Yeah.
It's a very practical spiritual growth habits kind of book.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to transition to me, I had, I didn't read every single one of our book club books to the end.
Yeah.
And so honorable mention is like the Gilead. I really enjoyed what we just finished. Our last book. I haven't quite finished it, almost to the end. It's just really, really good.
Yes. Beautiful.
Your Future Self Will Thank You is also an honorable mention. Those two books probably had the deepest, but the one I think that that has stuck with me the longest is On Getting Out of Bed.
Yeah.
That's the one that I think at like the most practical, easy to transition someone into reading something that I think would help was probably the book that I keep thinking about the most, that makes no sense to me, that I keep thinking about it as much as I do.
It's really good.
And that's the one that if I felt like I was had somebody struggling with depression or not finding purpose or figuring out maybe how to help somebody else through or understanding someone else, it would be the first book that I'd be like, you should just read this and we should talk about it, because I think there's a level of like just really compassionate, good, thought through attempts to help understand why people get stuck or what limits we put on ourselves and how motivation really gets started. So it's really, really good.
It's an incredible book. We're going to be reading something by him next year as well.
Good. What's the author's name?
Alan Noble.
Yep. Alan Noble. That's very good. On a personal side, go ahead.
Last thing I was going to say is this podcast is an arm of Kingsway Christian Church.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hit up a few Kingsway Christian Church milestones from this year. Number one, at Easter, we had more than 400 people in our building. Did we have 2 services on Easter?
We did.
Yeah. We had more than 400 people in our building on Easter, which is the first time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that has ever happened on a weekend at Kingsway ever.
I don't think I haven't heard of it. That's definitely the largest. I mean, I've been here for 17 years, so I don't think it was smaller when so that was a big milestone. Also record attendance at our kids and junior high camp. We had over 100 kids. Our church normally runs with kids like 300-ish people, give or take. 270, 290.
Yeah. 100 kids without adults. Not they did have adults, but the number is 100 kids. 137 total people were there at that camp. It's the largest kids camp we've ever had. We had to go to a bigger facility this year, and like we had a little room to expand and grow.
It's awesome
because of how many people are coming to our camp, and it's really cool. I was there. It was amazing. And then one more thing about our church as a whole, we had to finally move to 2 services regularly.
Yep.
So that started December 7th. And it's going to keep going for the foreseeable future.
Extra work.
Yeah. It's so much more work.
Do it again.
Not so much. It's more work, but it's also really rewarding and good.
Oh,
And I love being able to serve our church in that way. Last thing I want to say from me is that I'm really thankful for our worship team this year. I'm the worship pastor. That's the team I interact with the most. They've done such a good job serving, showing up, and loving our community. So if you're watching right now, you can see what I got on. It's a gray sweatshirt. It says Joyful Noise Department. Those are gifts I'm giving everybody who's regularly served this year on the worship team. So if you see anybody in this sweatshirt and you've liked, don't keep it to yourself, and you've appreciated worship services at Kingsway, stop them, thank them, because they've done some crucial part of they've served in some crucial way that's helped you have those worship experiences, grow close to the Lord in those services. So stop and thank people.
That's awesome.
With the sweatshirt.
They're really cool. They look warm too, which is nice.
They are. I'm sweating. I shouldn't have worn it. I got shorts and chocolates.
Well, it's been a fun year. It's been a fun year at Kingsway for sure. And it's definitely like you say, it's a burden we prayed for. It's the blessing we asked for. And so we're happy to do it. It's a new muscle for me, preaching 2 services, trying to getting used to that. on some level.
And you're just making it up every time.
Yeah, just going with I got to remember what I said.
Totally kidding.
I was going to say, too, I wanted to share my personal book.
Yes. I'm so sorry. I skipped over it.
You're good.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Personal book. Can I make a guess?
Oh, yeah.
Is it a series?
It's a very big series.
Is it a series about men from the North?
Uhtred. Here's the crazy thing about my brain. I like escapism in healthy ways. And
like fantasy kind of.
Yes. And there's certain movies and series that probably you're more inept to feel that tension in, where you finish the series and it almost just begs you to start it over.
Yeah.
Like the train series from Harry Potter, where it's like they take the kids and put them on the train, and you're like, I could go right back to the train station if I started over. You know what I mean? And Lord of the Rings is very similar too, because it ends in a way where you're like, I could pop it back in and I go right back to the Shire. You know what I mean? And so I think there's a level with these books that I've just gotten pulled in. So you said you read 18?
Something like that.
So I've read through this 13 book series twice in this year.
Oof.
So
that only counts once.
So it only counts once, right? So
but you still laughed to me with
apart from that, I read probably 8 to 10 other books, but nothing comes close. It's my guilty pleasure right now. It's the thing when I drive anywhere, I pop it in. I've memorized the story by this point, and so the connections in the story are so fun because the books are reflective. And it's actual historical fiction, so a lot of the characters and cities and even artifacts and things that they're talking about are real. And so for me, I love learning about new things and diving in. So it is the Saxon series, Last Kingdom, that I'm referring to. I want to make sure I get the author's name right, otherwise I'm going to feel bad.
Ulrich von Zwingli.
It is Bernard Cornwell's Saxon series. And he's got a ton of books, and I just haven't branched out yet. So,
what would you rate that series on a scale from 1 to the first Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's so funny. As far as like a lengthy series, this is actually something I have not read before. It's a very unique series. I think what I'm finding is if you love character-driven stories that hold true to historical facts while also
at least loosely.
They're like teaching you about a culture through a fictional story.
Yes.
And I flip and love it. I mean, there's no other way around it. Other things that I've read that are similarly, they're almost all character driven. And so I think the part of me that realizes like when I read there's multiple other series that I've read where I'm like, that's why I love Lord of the Rings. That's why I love the Harry Potter series. That's why, because it's one character growing, and through the whole thing. So that's part of why that series, as I just talked about me. And I'm hoping when I finish it, then I'll be done. I don't do it again. I need to find something new.
One more time. One more time.
It will have been the third time I've read it.
Wow.
So I'm like, I need to pick it up.
Two's plenty. Finish that. Go straight to Disney Pixar Cars.
I'm building up some credits, so I'm gonna have some credits waiting for it when we get there. Well, here's the thing: we've kind of hit some things. I want to do a personal couple questions for you.
Yeah.
Just because the podcast is part of the cult, people in the, I would say our audience mostly watch it for that, but also we love to reveal kind of a little bit of who we are and what we love, and so it's an easy way to do that is just to kind of do a personal recap. So here's kind of my first question is, what place did you get to go in 2025 that you would most love to go back?
Probably Arby's. No, I'm kidding. A very obvious answer, but I'm gonna pick it. It's the right answer. Would be this fall was the first time I left the country. Been to Puerto Rico, but that is a U.S. territory. That is still within the territory of the United States, even if it's not a state. I think we should make it a state. Whatever.
It's Hawaii before Hawaii.
Yeah. So I got to go to Scotland and Ireland.
That's so
Scotland
cool.
within the UK, and then Ireland proper, not North Ireland, which would also be part of the UK. I got to go to all those places. It was so freaking cool.
Yeah, their pictures alone are awesome.
Yeah, the like rolling landscapes, the greenest place I've ever seen in my life. I So many castles. We had so much pizza and Indian food, which if you're thinking Scotland and Ireland, you're thinking like haggis and shepherd's pie, cottage pie, whatever. Yep. We had a little bit of that. We had a few traditional English or Irish breakfasts. That
combination went viral for a while with people were getting cheese pizza and eating butter chicken with it. So that's like a pretty...
But here's what you have to realize. The English Empire extended across a large majority of the world, at least in spots, maybe not covering all of the world. Yeah. But it's in a bunch of places. You could say the sun never sets on the English Empire, the British Empire. So places in the Commonwealth, especially India, had a lot of like cross traffic. Yep. And so there's a lot of really good, and I would argue from my lack of experience, authentic seeming Indian food.
I mean, Ted Lasso is the thing he goes to, right?
Yeah,
it's like he's going to go get good Indian food.
Yeah. So good. Super, super good. And then there were a lot of like wood fire pizza places.
Dude, wood fire.
Also, if you heard anything I said about the coffee episode and starting this roastery, everywhere, anywhere, any building, even at somebody's shed in their backyard, probably has an espresso machine in it, and somebody's making flat whites. They may not be good, but they will be there. There's coffee everywhere. Got good coffee almost everywhere. There's an espresso machine in a gift shop for a lighthouse.
That's awesome.
It was about the size of a backyard shed, and they were just like popping out drinks. It's crazy.
Well, I got to go to Tulum, Mexico for a wedding for one of my former students, and it was a trip of a lifetime. It really was a beautiful, got to see the beach, and it was just Katrina and I, and so my parents were able to watch our kids.
Yeah.
And we have a coffee mug that we bought from a Starbucks in the airport at Tulum, and it's a really pretty mug, and every time I drink from it, I think about it was an all-inclusive, kind of stayed on the same site as where the wedding was. It was just beautiful and really forced you to kind of just slow down. And they catered in food, and we zipped around on these mopeds and risked our lives for a couple days, which was a little bit scary, but also awesome. And we had a lot of fun. So that's definitely the place that, honorable mention is I love Bentonville, Arkansas, and just going down there and getting away. Yeah. We had an opportunity to get a vacation rental down there and with another couple, and it was so much fun. So, little things like that are great. Yeah. Let me ask you this. If you could rewatch a movie from 2025 that you enjoyed the most, which movie are you rewatching?
If you asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have said Superman.
Yep.
But you're asking me right now, which means I'm going to say the movie that I've already watched twice this year, Wake Up Dead Man, the newest Knives Out movie.
I would actually
absolutely love it.
I actually agree with you. Yeah. I think I had a couple others that Superman was my honorable mention because I got to watch my kids watch it too, and they absolutely loved it. But the movie has stuck with me. Yeah. And it is a sneaky good movie, and it's on Netflix right now.
Here's my biggest pitch for the movie. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. It has... If you ever watch movies as a Christian and you want to watch them because you're a Christian and to like bolster up your Christianity to fan into flame the gift of faith or whatever, watch this movie quicker than you want. Now, maybe not with your kids or whatever. Watch this movie quicker than you watch like Fireproof or the Christian-made movies. Yep. This is one of the best Christian movies I've ever seen. And the director is no longer a Christian, like way before this movie was made. But he grew up a Christian, grew up a youth group kid. It has one of the best, most real, authentic depictions of Christian faith I've ever seen in a movie.
So it's a passion project of the director. It's his third in a series. I was listening to him get interviewed about it, and he said the contrast of two characters that portray a Christian inside this movie are priests, but he said this is who he always wanted the priest to be like versus what he saw the priest like or experienced. And so it was a passion project for him to try to portray what he would want the priest to be like. And it is beautiful. I think what I love about it though too is the authenticity of seeing somebody struggle to try to do ministry while fighting their own demons and life is happening. There's just a very like, I know as a pastor, I'm just watching this going like, yeah, Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. This is exactly what would happen. Yeah. And it's also very funny. It's a little creepy. It's got some creepy parts to it, but
it's a murder mystery. If it wasn't creepy, it would be a bad movie.
It's so good in that tension. I saw it way too late at night. But I really, I still really enjoyed it. Yeah.
I just think if whoever you are, you should go watch it. There's some choice words.
Oh yeah.
There's some mildly creepy parts, but nothing like ultra graphic or like super sexual, nothing, whatever. There's just like words you probably wouldn't want a toddler repeating. But it's really good. Now, as a movie that is authentically Christian, like you said, there are examples of people who are terrible Christians. Like they are a Christian, they're a public Christian, and they're not good at it. They're not inwardly transformed by the Spirit to be loving and welcoming while acknowledging sin and all this. Like all the balancing the tensions and the nuances of the faith like Jesus did. They're just like taking a side, beating people up, whatever. Anyway, there are bad examples of Christians in this movie. And there's one central, incredible example of a pastoral kind of Christian. So if you want to see the best Christian movie I've ever seen in my life, watch it. If you want to see a movie that engages with church politics, what I mean is people all within a church, but with differing ideas in differing factions. Like not necessarily a church president or something, but like the political social sway people have over each
and it's
other.
like influence and power versus like having blackmail and like what do you like holding that in tension the whole time. It's really good.
It's great. So take away the murder. That's like most churches. I'm just kidding.
So here's rapid fire, a couple for you to answer. Top song, top food, top coffee you had.
Okay.
All right.
Top coffee. I'm gonna start there. It was a cup from Hatcher's in Carthage, Missouri. They brewed a pour-over with an Onyx Coffee Lab coffee, and it was some funky natural process coffee from a place I'd never heard or something like that. And the tasting notes, usually it's like blueberry, dried plum, whatever. This one was like watermelon Jolly Rancher.
Jeez.
Period. And I was like, there's no freaking way. They hand me a cup of black coffee with nothing in it. No sweetener, no extra stuff. And it tastes exactly like watermelon Jolly Ranchers. And my mind was blown. That was I don't know if it's the best, but it was the craziest cup of coffee I had.
That's awesome.
Okay. And then show, and what was the other?
No. Favorite song and then food. Favorite thing in food.
Okay. Favorite song? Absolutely Andy Squires, because it always is, because he's I only have eyes for him.
I know.
And it would be off of he has a lot of faith songs and a lot of songs about struggling with faith or lamenting or whatever. But he put out this EP called Sacred Vows. It's a 4-song love letter to his wife. There's a song he has called Utah by Tomorrow. I think that's me and Sharon's, at least my favorite song. That's our song together. It's incredible. I wanna find some lyrics from verse 2 real quick. The beginning. It's like they're camping or something. But the lyrics: half the sky is dark, but I can see ya. Rain has fallen in my margarita. I don't know why that lyric was. I've never had a drink in my life.
Yeah, you're like
that lyric. I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a good lyric.
Dude.
Anyway.
Well, that's awesome. Best food. I know.
I can only think of the pizza in Lahinch, Ireland, out of a food truck. I know I had other incredible food this year. I know Sharon's made some great stuff.
Yep.
That's all I can think of at this very moment.
Yeah.
It's between that, a pizza truck from Lahinch, Ireland, and the Preacher's Son in Bentonville, Arkansas, where Sharon and I went for our anniversary. It's the only time I spend that much money.
Yeah.
I got a grilled swordfish with sweet and sour cabbage and something. It was too weird for me not to order, and it was delightful.
Dude, that's amazing.
I didn't expect to like any of that, and I still ordered it for a lot of money.
So My favorite cup of coffee I had all year was actually at your house last week.
Yes.
When you gave me a cortado. Or no, yeah, it was a cortado. And it was
between a cortado and a flat white. It was probably a 4 to 5 ounce drink.
I was going to say, it was a 4 ounce, probably a 4, maybe 5. It was delicious. And I drank the whole thing, and it was really good. And I always like, when I come to your house, I feel like you're like, let me roll up your sleeves and show you how the man makes coffee.
No, more like how a scientist.
That's true. Favorite song of the year is Connor Price's About Time album. It has a song called By Your Side, and it's a song my kids love to sing, but it's also just about him and his wife, and just it's got the perfect amount of like rap, but sounds like Ben Rector. Yeah. And it's really, really fun, and it's catchy. And anytime I love a song and my kids love a song, it's like the perfect mix. That's why Ben Rector is always my favorite, is because I'm like, I can play this around my kids, but I actually genuinely enjoy it. And then I honestly am going pizza too. My brother-in-law, when we went to Arizona over the summer, actually got there's this brand new pizza place called the Pizza Butcher, and it's in Scottsdale. And he surprised me by saying, "Hey, I know you're a pizza connoisseur. I'm gonna get this pizza." And it's really hard to get, and it's expensive, but they make homemade chorizo and homemade pepperoni, and they make their own dough, and they have this really old, really fancy oven. And I ate a lot of pizza, and it was so good. And I think about it because I can't get it all the time. Yeah. Honorable mention is In-N-Out Burger. I love.
I thought you were going to say the Mexican store in Monette.
Listen.
What would you rather have?
I had tacos in Tulum that were out of I'm not even kidding. I think he was in the mob, like the Russian mob. He was from New York and had come down here just to open a shop, and he didn't really have an explanation of why. And he was always there. And anyway, it was really, really good. And he did fusion food. So he had like a lot of like Mexican / like German. Anyway, it was really, really good. We went back 3 times. That's how good it was. But I think the winner is that pizza. If I had to pick anything right now that you were like offering me, that's what it would be. Secondary would be In-N-Out. But dude, that taco shop slaps too. That green salsa, I don't know what they put in it, but it's crack.
If I had a last meal, but I had to stay around here, I'm going to that taco shop. I'm getting asada fries. So I'm dying anyway.
Yep. All right. Last thing that I got for you. What's your most anticipated movie or show of 2026?
I can't say Stranger Things because it's going to come out
it's
right before 26.
Yeah. Well, at midnight. So that's technically
I thought it was coming out at like 7 p.m. on
New Year's?
the 31st.
Oh, okay. I thought it was coming out on New Year's.
So it does not count.
Nope. You can't say that then. I know.
I have literally no idea. I know there are some like superhero movies coming out. Those are usually
there are. Doctor Doom's coming out.
Yes, that's
next year.
That's most anticipated.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for Marvel to come back and stop being stupid.
Well, it's official. I think Chris Evans is going to be in it as well. And so there's 2 main characters. Mine, I have a couple. The Pit starts January 1st. If you haven't watched the first season of The Pit, I don't know where you've been under a rock. Or if you have anyone in the medical field, you should at least watch a couple episodes to get your idea of what they deal with on a regular basis. I also am very excited for The Odyssey, which is Christopher Nolan's new one. It's going to be that story alone is so cool. Matt Damon with Christopher Nolan, wild ride there.
Yeah.
There's a new one. Spielberg's coming out with a new one. It's called Disclosure Day, and it's where aliens reveal themselves that they've been living with us this whole time. So call back to his first Close Encounters is one of his first movies, and so this is his newest alien movie. So they're saying it's going to be really, really good. It's got a crazy trailer. It's like this newscaster that suddenly starts talking in alien language, and she looks completely human. Yeah, and that's like a quick snap of like, what? Anyway, looks pretty cool. Other thing though, like on another level, there's a couple different I think religious shows that are coming out that I've seen. I know The Chosen getting close to the end. And that is something that we maybe need to pick back up at some point.
Yeah, we probably should.
And pick that. I know that the couple different the pageant movie that came out. What was that called? The Best Christmas Pageant.
Yep. Has Pete Holmes in it?
Yes. Because of how successful that movie was, they're launching their next one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in that vein.
Is it called Violent Night?
No, but they are making Violent Night too.
Okay, I never saw the first one.
But they're making it, and I feel like it lives kind of in that vein of Wake Up Dead Man. Okay. Where it kind of sits in this like place of being something that is a good depiction and has some characteristics and qualities.
Greatest Christmas Pageant does?
Yes. Okay. And so those style of films are right up my alley. Okay. Where I'm like, be human about the way you're treating how Christianity functions. So, well, dude, it's a great wrap-up year. Yeah. I really enjoyed 2025 in so many ways. Looking forward to 2026. It feels like time flies by. Be looking. I know we're going to be continuing our book club looks. We'll put that list probably out at some point.
Yep. Our first episode of the new year. We're going to mention we're going to announce our book for January. So
that'll be exciting. Just know that we'll be off for a couple weeks just because of the holidays, but that's normally how we do this stuff. Yeah. So if you don't see us back for a little bit, it's because life gets busy. But when we get back in, we'll be locked in.
We're gonna skip an episode or two of the podcast, but we're gonna put out an extra episode of our services.
Yep.
This Tuesday, tomorrow. Well, actually, that'll have already come out by the time this podcast comes out.
Any of the categories we mentioned, just throw in the comments what your favorite was for the year. Give us a little wrap up from your stuff.
Favorite movie, favorite upcoming show.
Let us know your favorite episode, favorite thing that you did, favorite place you went,
weirdest place you ate pizza.
Yeah.
any of those.
Your favorite song of the year. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
So, well, as always,
especially your favorite book in the King's
Yeah, I do want to know some of that stuff.
Please, because that would help us know which books we should pick. Well, also, I'm going to pick the books I'm going to pick no matter what you say.
You heard that, Will. Remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a review. It always helps. And if you're around some family and they mentioned the podcast, just throw our name out there. We'd love to grow and continue to have an opportunity to have greater conversations. Ryan, great 2025.
Yeah.
Till 2026. Have a great and glorious day in the Lord. We'll see you later.
Cheers. See you.